People put too much stock in their profession as their identity, and some people don't think that they have jobs that represent their identity.
We're digging through a New York magazine. Is it which one? Is it New York magazine?
It's the New Yorker.
New Yorker.
No,
Yep.
no, you're right.
It's New York magazine. And they have this interesting article this week. It is called
How to Behave.
Yeah, How to Behave. Now, I find that very interesting, and I'm assuming this is why this article was written. Is because, the past 3 years, for many different reasons, everyone's gone bat crap crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, and people are misbehaving everywhere we go.
Yeah.
For whatever reasons.
Right.
So they decided to come up with a list of ways we should be behaving.
Yeah.
We're kind of laughing at some of these.
It's a fascinating list. It's got all kinds of different scenarios, from friends and lovers to strangers and others, going out, staying in, tipping, all kinds of stuff. But it's advice from people. Some of it I think you will totally agree with. Other things I think you're going to say, what are you talking about?
Well, first of all, when someone has to tell us how to behave, how bad is it? Very bad.
Exactly.
I mean, seriously, I was on the train yesterday and there were some behavioral problems going on right before my eyes.
Right.
And I'm thinking, oh, God, these people are just selfish.
Yeah.
Anyway, what do you have? I mean, just to kind of open it up a little bit.
Okay, let's start with strangers and others, because this is where I thought there was a lot of controversy.
Okay.
First one. Don't feel bad about standing up in the aisle immediately upon the plane landing. Now, I thought, okay, if you're tall and you need to stand up and stretch, I get that. But they're saying it's okay to try and run off the plane as long as you're not running over elderly people. No. It's still not okay.
No.
Even post-pandemic.
It's got to be the person who does it that wrote that. That's the problem.
Yeah, some
they
a-hole.
think it's okay.
A-hole
Exactly.
wrote that. No,
Come on.
there is a protocol for getting off a plane and
No
getting
way.
on a plane. Is there not?
Of course.
I assume it's the way that the rows are set up. So the first row gets off first. Second row gets off after that. Like, you just have an orderly procession off the plane.
Right. Now, if they come on and say, hey, we're really late and we have a few customers in the back of the plane that need to catch their connecting flights, if you wouldn't mind letting them go ahead. And I'm telling you, the times we've done it, you get out into the airplane or into the airport, they're not rushing to any plane. They're full of crap.
Exactly.
Anyway, go ahead.
How about this one? Do not touch the small of my back to move around me at the bar. Sure. But then it says, if you're ugly. So apparently attractive people can just paw you, but ugly people better not touch me.
Wait, who's touching me? Let me take a look at him. Oh, no.
No.
No, I don't think you should be touching anyone because you don't know how they feel about being touched. Go ahead.
Okay, this is a good one. The proper response to being told something you already know isn't, I know. Elvis, you're good at this. It's, you're right. And you just continue speaking.
Yeah.
You're right.
Look, it's so easy for us to come across as know-it-alls, right? If someone says something you've already heard before, it's so easy to go, I heard that. But you say that sometimes to let them know that you're engaged with what they're saying, and you can continue a conversation. But,
you're right.
Yeah, see? I know, but I was told by a great communicator years ago is if someone tells you something that you already know, it's really great to go, really? Tell me more, even though you already know.
Okay. What if they start to get things wrong, though? Do you correct them?
Yes.
Okay.
No, you don't have to.
I had no idea, but actually you're wrong. All right. Never ask anybody what their job is. I kind of like that one.
Like, what's your job?
What do you mean? What do you do for a living? You can't ask that?
I mean, you can, but I think, here's the thing. I think a lot of people put too much stock in their profession as their identity, and some people don't think that they have jobs that represent their identity. So I don't want to name anything specific, but I don't like talking about my job because it always puts other people in a weird position where they're either say, oh yeah, I totally know, I love that show, and they feel like they have to, or they feel the need to tell you they've never listened to your show, they listen to NPR, and they don't think you're cool. Okay, well, I don't want to talk about this anyway. Let's talk about you.
You get those too, Gandhi?
Oh yeah, I listen to NPR. Okay, cool. Like, that would be like talking to somebody from Wendy's and then being like, sorry, I only eat somewhere else. That's weird.
Yeah, it is
you
weird.
say that?
Yeah, I think you really need to be in a closer relationship with them.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't agree 100%.
This is with strangers, though. So once you get to know somebody, you can talk about those things. But it says it's classist and boring.
But I feel like if I want to further my relationship, say it's like a romantic thing, or if I'm interested in you, I do want to know what you do for a living. You know
right, because you're ruling them out if they do something you don't like.
Well, no, not necessarily. Like, if it's something that's like a negative thing, then yes, I'd be like, oh.
I'm a murderer.
Yeah, exactly. You never know what you're going to get nowadays.
I'm a drug dealer.
Right.
Okay, this says, when casually asked, how are you? Say good. I think they mean well, but just answer if it's casual. I'm fine, everything's great. Don't hit them with the, oh my God, it's the worst day of my life.
Oh, my back hurts. I'm having just, how are you doing, Elvis? I have a painful rectal itch.
I feel like that's what Nate does. He says, well, I've had 2 strokes and this, that, and the other thing.
I'll be honest with you.
What's that, Nate? What do you see?
Somebody's asking, what douchebag wrote this article?
Well,
there's some interesting stuff.
There's definitely some douchebaggery going on in this article.
Some of these are good, some of these are bad. Scotty, this one's for you. If somebody mispronounces a word, but you knew what they meant, move along.
I'm going to try.
Okay.
Scotty will correct you immediately.
It depends on who they are. Give me a few more, then we'll get back to it in a little bit.
Never answer a compliment with a compliment.
Why?
Because they say it doesn't come off as genuine. It seems like you're just trying to make them feel good because they made you feel good.
Yeah.
The better thing to do is just say, thank you so much. That's very nice of you.
If someone says, oh, you look so great, and you say, oh, you do too, that totally looks like you're just saying that because they said it to you.
Exactly. How about this one? Here's a good way to handle yourself when being introduced to a famous person. So if someone introduces you and says, this is my friend Pete, it's Pete Davidson, you say, oh, of course, so nice to meet you, because it's weird to pretend you don't know who that person is, but you also don't want to fangirl.
Okay, yeah, of course.
Okay,
it's nice meeting you. And so far, Danielle and I are not agreeing with all these things.
I don't know. Yeah,
I don't either.
Not all of them.
No. How about if your hamburger starts to turn into a salad, you have adjusted the menu too much. Don't do that.
I understand a little tweak, but don't ask for a totally different thing.
Okay.
No deciding your order once you've reached the counter. You should have that ready to go by the time you get to the front of the line.
Yeah, there's nothing better than standing in line and then it's the person in front of you. It's their turn and they say, hey, what do you have?
I've had all this time. What are you doing?
What do you got? What do you got? What do you like?
And when the waiter comes to your table or waitress comes to your table and you, I'm not really sure. Tell them you need a couple minutes. Don't hold them hostage.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
What else?
Oh, all right. How about when planning to hang out? It's absolutely fine to say no partners allowed.
Oh. Can we say it in a different way?
Yeah.
Though? Can we say like it's girls only or guys night out?
I think Danielle's right. There's got to be a very diplomatic way to handle it. Hey, why don't we go out? Let's just make it the girls.
Yeah.
But that way it's like no partners allowed.
We don't like your boyfriend. He's not coming.
Exactly.
How about for group dinners with friends, always split the bill evenly?
Yes.
But if you're drinking and I'm not, you should offer to pay the entire tip.
Go back to the original one.
For group dinners with friends, always split the bill evenly.
Or at least have a conversation about it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it doesn't work out that way.
Yeah, sometimes, one person comes out and they only wanted a salad or something small, and then they're paying $100 a person. I do feel bad for them.
Well, interesting. I had a lunch yesterday with a few friends. I didn't see anyone ripping their wallets out. Or whipping the wallets out.
Yeah. And I tried to take the bill, too, and you were trying to hide it from me.
Well, I'm glad you took it because I couldn't see it. Back to the list. Do you know how to behave?
Right.
Well, now we're going to the workplace.
Yes.
Is it okay to bring someone in to smudge the evil spirits?
There was nothing about that in here, so I assume yes.
Okay.
Go forth.
Okay.
Okay, so this one, let's start here. We were just talking about it. One of the things they say do not comment on other people's food. It says you don't know their trauma. You don't know whether they have eating issues. You don't know if it's part of their culture, like whatever it is. Don't yell at people. Don't comment on how much they're eating, on if it's health, like none of that. They say just don't do it. We do that around here all the time.
Okay, but no offense.
Like, I want your food.
You just warmed up broccoli, and it smells like someone farted in here.
Yes, it did. How dare you? Don't say that to me.
Maybe your culture likes farty food.
Maybe.
Well, no, and then sometimes, like one time Scotty B warmed up some seafood pasta, and it smelled like dead fish.
This says even fish. Don't say anything about
but
it.
I feel like you have to respect other people. Like if you know you're bringing in stink ass food, you got to remember that other people have to work in that environment as well.
But
I agree.
You're right.
Yeah.
But also some things that are stinky to one person is not stinky to other people. People complain about garlic. I think garlic smells so good. People complain about curry. That's heaven to me. So I don't know.
Yeah, see, I love the smell of curry. Others don't.
Yeah.
I love the smell of garlic, but usually the only garlic I smell in here is coming out of Scary's breath.
Okay, that's a different story.
That seafood crap, though, that he warmed up in the studio was not nice.
That was nasty. What's that, Scary?
And I pass judgment on the way what they do to their food. Like people who put ketchup on steak, and I probably shouldn't. I shouldn't comment on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
stop doing
Okay, so
that.
in the workplace, leave each other's food alone unless it smells like fart, like you're
Yeah. It says you can eat anything, anywhere. If people don't like it, they can leave. That's different for us. But
Oh my God! Look, Robin's still smudging.
Yeah, the sage
Oh, it
is getting
smells
very
good.
It smells
strong.
good. Okay, go
The
ahead.
problem is I have a cold and a cough still, and it might cause some issues.
Okay, that's fine. Go ahead.
Okay, this says disclose your recent positive COVID test to those possibly affected promptly, but without shame. I think that's important. We all, in the beginning of COVID, if anybody was around somebody or tested positive, it was like, I'm really sorry, you guys. I have COVID and I don't know what to do. You didn't do it on purpose. It's an airborne virus. It's not
Yeah, I think we're through that.
I think we are too. But a lot of people still feel weird about it.
Okay.
You should definitely tell. Always tell people.
Don't people post it on Instagram now? Their positive tests? Like,
Yeah, that's
like
what I
a
do.
pregnancy test.
I post positive COVID tests even when I'm not, just to get out of things I don't want to do.
How about this one? Do not zoom in from the Palace of Versailles. If you are in a really nice, glorious, lovely place, they say set a different background so that when you're zooming into the conference, and your video should always be on, they say, that you're not making other people jealous.
Okay.
I agree. I could see that. But what if you're in your nice, lovely house? Do you have to change the background for that too?
I don't know. I don't want to ever go on a Zoom call ever again.
I'm
Do
with
you?
No. God, COVID really ruined Zoom for me.
Let me give you another rule for the office space. If you need to have a meeting, don't call a Zoom meeting. Just call me on the phone.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
And if you want to have a meeting in person, everyone has to stand so the meeting ends in like 1 minute.
That's a good idea. And also at the end when they're like, "Do you have any questions?" Just ask the question by yourself on your own time. Don't do it for everybody. It's terrible.